Hello everyone, Glenda Mollet here, and I'm coming to you from my craft room this morning. I wanted to try a YouTube live video, so here I am. I have no idea whether anybody's going to find me, but at least the video will be on my YouTube channel. So I created this super cute card using our new Seascape bundle by Stampin' Up. So I have the Seascape stamp set and the coordinating sea life dies. And that's what I'm going to use today. I'm also going to use one of the dies from Hippo and Friends and show you how to make that a little bit bigger because it wasn't quite big enough for my sentiment. So let me show you so there's the size that it's supposed to be. So I just increased it a little bit, and I'm going to show you how to do that because it's really, really simple. The bling you see on there is opal rounds, and I cut the seahorse out of the new ombre specialty paper. Isn't that adorable? I love it. I love it. Okay, so let me go with the recipe here. So I have a thick basic white card base. And then I have a piece of 5 1/4 by 4 for the inside, a piece of 5 1/4 by 4 balmy blue, and a piece of basic white that is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And that's what I'm going to do all of the stamping and blending and stuff on. I have another piece of basic white, excuse me, that's 2 by 3, and that's for the sentiment. Well, it's not really 2 by 3, it's a scrap I had. Gorgeous grape 2 3/4 by 3 1/4 to cut out the coral. And I have a spare piece of paper in case I mess up the sentiment. And then I have a piece of the ombre specialty paper to cut out. Oh, Shanna, you found me. Yay! That's awesome. Thanks. Okay, so let's get busy and cut some of the pieces out. Okay, let's put that over there. So I'm going to have to cut this out of the glimmer paper like that. Now, this die set also includes this really cute fish that I could have put on there, but I like the seahorse. Now, where's my kit? Let me get the gorgeous grape out so I can die cut the coral at the same time. Oh, thanks, Shanna. Okay, so I'm going to die cut that. Well, you know, I have a hole in my schedule on Tuesdays. And I thought, why not try something new and see what happens? I see there's 2 people watching, so that means that 2 people could find me. That's awesome. Okay, so that's the live feed. I'm hoping that more people would get it on the rebound when it's officially posted to my YouTube channel. Okay, so there's the coral. And this is the seahorse. Now, there's one thing about these dies that may confuse you a bit when you first start to use them because they don't cut out the image completely. I'm just getting rid of most of those little itty bitty pieces in there. Okay, so let me just go ahead and finish getting rid of the little pieces using my take your pick tool. Now this paper is the ombre specialty paper, and it means that it's a little bit thicker than our normal weight cardstock. So I'm thinking if I had have put this in upside down and done it that way, it might have cut a little bit more of the pieces out. It's not that they're not cut, they're just not popping out. Okay, let's see if I can get some more of them. This way, there they come. I didn't bring my mat, so I'm kind of, okay, I'll deal with those later. So when you cut this out, it's still attached. So it's attached right there, and it's attached right there, and here, and up here. So they made it so you can put this onto a card front. Let me get a piece of white. They made it so you can put that onto the card front and just kind of pull it up so that it sort of stands up a little bit like this. So there's one way you can use these dies, but I preferred not to have it attached like that. So all you have to do is take your paper snips and just snip away those little tiny areas. And at least they made those little tiny areas in spots that it won't be too conspicuous if you cut them off. Like, you don't have to do any fancy jigging around anything to make it look like it's supposed to be there. See, that was easy. It cuts out in no time at all. Okay, back to my holes. Back to my holes. Oh no. Well, you know, Shanna, you can always get this set. Maybe this should have been the focus for our team retreat instead of the party puffins. Maybe we'll do this one next time. Okay, so there's oops, there's that cut out. Sorry, didn't mean to give you all seasickness. Okay, so now I'm taking my white and we're going to I don't know what that's for. Okay, so we're going to make this bigger than what it is right now. So I'm going to use a couple of pieces of Post-it note just to hold it in place. If I can pick them up. Finger challenge this morning. So when I put this through the machine, I'm going to put the cutting plate no further up than one of the corners because I want to die cut this part only and not this part. So I'll just run that through my machine. Hopefully it'll work. I did this last night at like 1 o'clock in the morning, so I'm hoping. Okay, so now if I take that off, you can see how it only cut part of the die. It didn't cut the whole thing. So now I'm going to go in again, move it down. And if you move it around, you'll feel it pop right down into where the cut is there. And now when I put this in, I'm once again only going to put the, oh, let's just, now which one is further down? That one's further down. Okay, so I just look to see which one is further down because I have to put this in, or I want to put this in crooked, so it's a little bit easier to run it through the machine. Okay, that's going to be a little bit too much. You have to fiddle with this first of all to get it there. So I'll just run that through the machine. And see what we get. Oh, since 3 people found me that. Oh, that's exciting. Okay, see, now it didn't cut there, but that's okay. Because I'll just hand trim that part. I didn't have my plate in the right spot. Okay, now just do a little trimmy here. You wouldn't have to do this if you actually did it right the first time. Okay, so now we have our bigger area for more sentiment. Okay, pieces cut. Put those up there. Don't need this one because I didn't screw it up. Yay! All right, so this is a 5 1/8 by 3 7/8 piece of basic white cardstock. And I'm going to do some sponging. But just let me make sure that I've got the right one because I don't want to start sponging and have the wrong size. Yeah. Oh, why is my throat's all raspy this morning? First discussion of the morning. Okay, so I'm using Balmy Blue. And I'm just going to ink up my brush, tap it off, and then start working it up and down. Now it does take a while to build your color up because you have to get most of it off of your blending brush so you don't end up with big globs. So it's just a matter of working it up. See, it's starting to get a little color in there now. And you make this as light or as dark as you want. I think I'm going to make it a little bit darker on the corners. I don't want too much color on it. And I'll flip it over and do some on the other side. There we are. And it's got a little bit of color on there. I don't want lots of color, and I want kind of a white space in the middle, but that's okay. All right. We'll just put that away. So we have our piece that has a really light blended balmy blue background. So I'm going to do the seaweed next, and that's in Highland Heather. Just have to find it. Got all my stamps piled up over there. And that's going to go on the right side of my seabed. Kind of like that. There we are. Now I also have it on the inside and on the envelope. So I will do that at the same time while I got the ink out. Here's the envelope. Ink it up. Stamp it. And inside, it's an up and down card, not a sideways card. Just got to remember that. So I think I want it to be a little bit fun. So I'm just going to add in a little bit more on the inside piece. There. Why not? I can. Okay, next is Granny Apple Green to put the, can you see that? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to put the seaweed in there with Granny Apple Green. Not on that piece though, that's my inside piece. Where's my card front? There it is. Okay, so I'm inking it up in Granny Apple Green, and I'm going to do a couple of them at different heights, like that. Okay, so the next step is to put some crumb cake and this dotty, pebbly stamp image on the bottom, just to create a seabed. That's it, just a couple of times. Okay, so that's ready now. And I'm going to get the purple coral, put some glue dots on the back of it. Let's just get rid of that for a minute. get myself organized here. Okay, so I'm just going to use some Tombow and do a bunch of dots on the seaweed. Now, it's going to be cut off over here. That part's going to be cut off. There we go. The lid back on. And we'll put that on here, right down at the bottom. And I'm paying attention to where that lands. I can always cut it off if it overhangs. So put that down like that. And we'll just pop off the extra here. Now I think I'm going to leave that and that as well, because I like the effect of it on there. Okay, some Stampin' Seal, and we'll layer it onto our balmy blue piece. Like this. There we go. Bit of rub. And I'm going to attach that now to my card base. Make sure it opens correctly. And just attach that onto there. Isn't that cute? Okay, so we've got all of those elements. We've die cut this. Now I'll stamp the sentiment, and I'm going to use Memento ink for that. And the sentiment comes from the stamp set as well. It's got some really nice sentiments, and I love the font. I'm into fonts. I like writing fonts, script fonts, not necessarily calligraphy fonts. Okay, and I'm just going to stamp that and hope it's straight. Oh, it's good enough. Good enough. Okay, now let's get some Tombow on the back of the seahorse. Now I'm only going to put it, this one is flat here, and then it's popped up on the head. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is grab a scrap of dimensional and put it right there on his head, her head, his head. I don't know. How do you tell the difference between a boy and a girl seahorse? I have no idea. I'll have to ask my grandson that one, because anytime I ask him a question, he either knows it or he goes right away and does research on it. Oops, that's a little too much there. Okay, so we're going to put the seahorse on now, and I'm going to make him, because they sit kind of like that onto the coral. I'll just hold that down for a second, and I'll get my dimensionals, and because this is going to be popped up as well. There we go. Now this I'm going to slide underneath his mouth like that. Take the liners off. And just slide this under his mouth, beak, whatever it's called. Make sure it's straight. There we go. Oops, stay down there, you. Okay, now the last thing is to add some opal rounds. Oops. Watch them come flying out of my case. Pokey tool, also known as take your pick tool. And we'll just stick 3 gorgeous opal rounds on here. Like that. Oh, I got that sentiment down quite a bit further than the other one. Oh well. It is what it is, right? Oops. It fell off. Back on there so I don't lose it. I think I should have had that up a little bit higher, but too bad. Okay, so now we have to finish the inside in the envelope. So this is what the inside looks like. Don't you love those bubbles? I love bubbles. Bubbles are fun. Bubbles, bubbles, bubbles everywhere. Okay, dirty paper. I think it's time to change my dirty paper. It's getting a little on the dirty side. And some balmy blue. And the fish. And we'll just stick a fish in here. Like that. And then one on the envelope. I think my balmy blue pad needs re-inking. There we go. And the final touch is some bubbles. So I used crumb cake, but I stamped them off first. I didn't want them to be that really dark. So ink it up, stamp it off, and then put them on there. Look, isn't that not adorable? Love it. There we are. That's it. That's, oh, except for the sponging. Bubbles are awesome. I agree, Shanna. I like bubbles, and I like dots, and I like shadowy things. Just doing a bit of sponging around the outside. Now, if you wanted, you could take your blending brush and add some blue over top of that coral on the inside, just to add a little bit more. Okay, let's try that. Just get some blue, and I'm going to just add in a little bit of color just around where the coral is. I'm not going to add it any further up, just around where the coral is. Very subtle, very, 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 very subtle. There we go. Okay. Now we'll put this on the inside. Have my stamp and seal here. So this might become a regular tradition on Tuesday mornings. We'll see how it goes. I'm thinking, oops, that's the original one. Can't put it in there. I'm thinking it's something different, and I might, because I have that hole in my schedule where I can add something. And I've been toying with what to add. So I'm thinking that Facebook or YouTube Live would work. So there you go. That's the card. It didn't take long at all to create. Now, shh, this might be my daughter-in-law's birthday card. It might be. I don't know yet. I don't know yet, but don't tell her. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you. Thanks so much for joining me in my craft room and on my YouTube channel today. And if you have enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel. Like I said, I'm thinking every Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock, I'm going to go live on YouTube. And if you click on subscribe and then click on the bell, you'll get notifications of when I go live. Stamp and smile. Have a wonderful day. Stamp and smiles, and bye for now.